Hello. When issues on ending and developments keep surfacing in our society, there is bound to be real talk and more real talk. On the show today, our first and last business is to give you our own perspective on issues as they come. Here is Real Talk with Kike. I prefer to call it the RTWK show. My name is Marshall Anthony Onoye. Moses would rather I open the show, coming down with a parachute or something, very dramatic, he says. But I'd rather just do it this way. Once again, my name is Marshall Anthony Onoye. You're welcome to the Real Talk with Kike show. It's a show where we'll bring you perspective on issues making the rounds every day around and about you. And we open up phone lines as well to have you drop your 1 cent on the matter. Sometimes we'll bring resource persons on the show to do justice to topic of discussions that we prop up every now and then. And of course, we always are multiple on the set, if you want to put it that way. I have the very delectable Adon-in-Why, the beautiful Adami.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Good afternoon, everybody, from where you're having the privilege to watch us today. I hope it's a very beautiful day. My name is Damlola Bandere. It's going to be another exciting show today. Please stay with us, and don't forget, you can join the conversations and give us what you think about Nigeria and things that are happening around you.
I like you're all white.
Yeah, I mean, these days you have to distinguish yourself that, see, I'm more white. Don't follow somebody that carry palm boy. So please.
Talking about following somebody, Lolo and I are just following each other back to back, given the way we're dressed. We're hashtagging the Real Talk with Kike. Lolo, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Atanda-Owo David. You can call me Lolo One. Thank you so much for joining us. It's your #1 lunch hour show. We are here to give you everything that we see happening around us and let you, give your own take on it and tell us how it is or how you see it. Welcome. It promises to be an exciting show.
Lola, you look beautiful too.
Absolutely stunning. I
I
wish I was a man.
I was staring at Dami because I haven't seen her in a couple of months. She looks so regal, so beautiful. Women can just have a way of turning out like woo.
Talking about introduction, let's give honor to whom honor is due. Real Talk with Kike show. Our main host, Kike Lomo Atanda-Owo, who is somewhere resting. Last time we were on the show together with Lolo on Tuesday, she said Kike should rest. And I did also say that she's a workaholic. She is holidaying or vacationing somewhere. We're hoping that she's going to get back refired and not retired. So Kike, enjoy the show. We know you're watching. Without much ado, let's take you into a little bit of history. But before that, let's get a word from our sponsors, you may.
Multina, share happiness. This day in 2014, Dr. Stella Atanda-Owo, who treated a Liberian victim of Ebola, contracted a viral disease. She was part of a team that attended to the Liberian-American civil servant who collapsed on arrival at Lagos Airport. Patrick Sawyer, who worked for Liberia's finance ministry, was credited with importing Ebola virus disease, EVD, to Nigeria, contracted the virus from his sister before he traveled to Lagos for a meeting of West African officials. He landed in Lagos on July from Monrovia after switching planes in Togo's capital, Lomé. He collapsed at Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos on Sunday, July 20th, and was hospitalized at First Consultant Medical Center, Obalinde, Lagos, where Dr. Stella Atanda-Owo worked as a medical practitioner. However, Sawyer died in quarantine on July 25th, 2014.
this day in history. Stella Adebanjo reminding us the days of
Ebola virus.
That was.
Ebola.
Lolo.
Yes, it was a very traumatic time for us as a country, because this is a heroine. She did what, you know, a lot of people would not have done. You know, she stepped up. This when I see doctors like, you know, lifesavers, heroes. Nobody was going to do what she did, and she did it, but she paid a heavy price for it. But for the first time, I saw Nigerian government, you know, become proactive, because we tackled Ebola, especially in Lagos State, like no man's business, and we're able to kick it out of the state in time without too many casualties. Honestly, this woman would always remember you for the great sacrifice you paid.
Dami?
Well, I think I share in Lolo's was submission, and I would also say that it's something that if the way our national anthem says, the labor of our heroes past, she's become an hero's past. What was her labor? This is what history and posterity has to record about her. What are we all doing to manage situations around us? How many of us can put our lives on the go, on the track to say, okay, I want to save a lot of people? She didn't think about herself. She wasn't selfish, because if Ebola had survived in Lagos beyond the time that it was being tackled, I mean, it would have been a great, huge disaster. And Lagos that we move like in sardine. Thank you very much. I will say may her beautiful soul rest in peace.
Well, for me, if you've not seen 93 Days, it's a movie that mirrors the times of Stella Adebanjo and the last days of Stella Adebanjo, and her struggle with Patrick Sawyer and trying to, would I say, contain the virus and not to let it spread. And that effort by Stella really, really did contain the virus. You need to go and see 93 Days. It'll, you know, create a clearer picture of what the days were in the time of Ebola. Well, there you have it, This Day in History. I love the This Day in History on Tuesday, and then this one again today. It's not just about Boko Haram and bombings and all of that.
There are other things happening in history.
Absolutely. It's just for you to dig in deep. That's
Exactly. All right. So we would be going by way of Gist Day today. Just in case you're wondering if we're having a guest and making it topical, having a topic where we would dig deep and bring you the facts and all the sides. No, we would be looking at issues making the rounds, trending stories, and how it concerns you. Dami, myself, and Delectable Lolo would be dropping our 1 cent on these matters. We'd also open up phone lines when the time comes for you to call in and tell us what you make of these issues. First, we would take another break, and when we return, we'll bring you our first trending story, and then we'll begin to drop our 1 cent on the matter. Here's our first break. Politics, music, gossip, culture, whatever is trending, we would be here to bring you real talk, all the sides and all the facts. And today we would be going by Gist Day. Feel free to call us and be part of the show, contribute in whichever way you can. Of course, drop your 1 cent on the matter. Our first story, Nigerians question federal government of Nigeria's purchase of cars worth 1.4 billion naira for Niger Republic. And ASU is still on strike. ASU, just in case you're wondering, is the academic staff of universities. Still on strike. And then Nigeria's government has been said to have spent over 1.4 billion naira in the purchase of 10 SUV vehicles for Niger Republic. That story hit, and
everywhere went agog.
It did surprise me. Lolo?
I'm a bit confused about where the focus of our leadership is. Is it that they do not empathize with what is happening to their people? Are we waiting for an internal crisis that will cause us to have an implosion? That everybody will become, we're struggling economically. People are angry. We are battling all sorts of things left, right, and center. Our youths are at home. They haven't gone to school. Vices are increasing. Criminal activities are on the rise. Insecurity is all over the place. And I'm wondering that why would we want to take a log out of another country's eye when we have a speck out of another country's eye, when we have a log in our eye. We have not even settled the people that have been kidnapped in the train attack, the Kaduna train. Now we're helping another country. Is it that, what are we trying to show? That we love another country and we have everything under control. We just had, the last time we were on the show, we're talking about the threat to the South. We have not even put things in place to see how do we safeguard the country. We're losing the North. The East is in crisis.
We've lost the North already.
Yes. And when this news dropped, I was just like, I don't know.
Real?
Are these people for real? We're extending, yes, we know that we should help our neighbors. Or are there things they're not telling us? Because they've been telling us that, oh, terrorists and all these other people are coming in from our borders. So maybe that's what they're trying to show. That's why they are doing that. Then if that is it, should you not be explaining properly to the country that this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing? Not just the fact that, oh, we're good neighbors, we just want to support them. Your country is unraveling at the seams. So what are we doing?
I think, well, initially, if the purchase of these said vehicles were armored tanks and Hummer jeeps that we know that are used in fighting terrorism or are used during wars. But I mean, there are Toyota Hilux, some cool cars, man.
Hilux, no.
Toyota Land Cruiser, yeah. Toyota Land Cruiser, some very fine cars that SUVs that you see on the roads in Lekki. But now it's two sides for me. Yes, if you say because of their security infrastructure, like you need to also help them. We seek for help and we get help. That's Nigeria. So we can help another neighbor, but not when we are in deep crisis. And a few weeks ago, there was a publication of Nigeria being broke. And that was what circulated about 1 month back. And even a couple of ministers had said, I can't replace it now, had said people should try and take off things from the federal government, that Nigeria is broke invariably. So if Nigeria is broke, ASU needs about this same amount of money to get back to school, to keep us moving. Now, the South is under threat, like you said, the East, the West, the North is gone already. And every day our security architecture within the house is collapsing. Then how do you now go to help somebody else's way afar? I mean, everybody should bear their own cross at this point. But if, yes, as I said, because we also ask for help, we get help, we can help. But I think Nigeria needs to put our own house in order first. Before you now begin to buy cement to plaster another person's house. Our roofs are leaking badly.
Well, Lolo is screaming on top of her voice, and she was almost looking like she was going to get off the seat there. I was hoping that Johnny from the other camera would grab her. I was almost calming her down. But Lolo, you know, it's amazing. It amazes me that, you know, we're talking and we're lamenting. I've come to that point where,
it just doesn't,
you know,
resonate any longer.
There are days when I sit down and I shed tears for Nigeria. I practically shed tears.
Yes.
But on this particular matter, I'm wondering, why are you guys furious about it? It's, for crying out loud, 1.4 billion only. Yes, 1.4 billion.
And we have had ASU strike for so long.
No, and we've had ex-Nemasa boss in the scandal of $1.9 trillion.
I mean, Nigerian government has spent $1.96 billion in building rail and roads to the same Niger. So why did we go bonkers? Why didn't we go haywire?
But this is happening at a time that, you know, those ones, we were still grappling. We were still looking at the chaos that was incoming. But now, it is with us.
I mean, this was a country that the president equally came in 2019 to campaign for the president, and questions were asked that why are these people coming in to campaign for, you know, Nigerian president?
And
why are we going to Niger to even campaign?
Why Niger?
Because there were campaigns there. Okay, so the Nigerian government says, according to, in a defense for the $1.96 billion project, it says it will serve the import and export of goods from Niger Republic and other countries in the sub-region through Nigerian ports. You want to begin to ask yourself, of what economic value?
Upon Niger port border, what are we bringing in through? I would even say Ghana, Togo. Well, at least we're bringing in cars, we're bringing in food, poultry, we're bringing in rice. What are we bringing in from Niger? That's what I keep saying. That are there things
We're bringing
that
in our cousins. We're bringing in our,
your
our
brothers.
brothers.
But these are the same borders that we've been fingering that a lot of terrorists have been coming through.
I mean, Lai Mohammed said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why
Nigerian
are we
border,
now?
Chadian, Cameroonian.
So why are we supporting them? Or is there something? That's why I keep saying.
I think
there
there's
must
more
be
to it.
something to this Niger that we probably are not seeing. It's high time that we really be told the real truth.
Well, if you ask me,
Nobody's gonna tell you the
Omar
truth.
will say, now who I go
go-
ask? Well, I think I'd better ask Nigerians. Nigerians, what you make of this? Nigeria is spending over 1.4 billion naira in the purchase of 10 vehicles. Listen to the radio, and some people were more angry at the fact that it was just 10 vehicles. They would have preferred more vehicles. Dami would have preferred armored tanks, and of course, I know that if it was 1.4 billion on 10 vehicles, those vehicles will be, armored vehicles, as in bulletproof vehicles. Yeah. But why? Of what economic importance? Of what military importance? Let's know what you make of these callers. We'd like to hear from you. Our phone lines already open. Numbers to call should already be up on your screen. Check the numbers out, dial them, and then we'll speak with you. Remember to turn off your TV set or the volume of your TV as you're calling onto the station. So call us. Numbers to call are 0809. I don't know the number of her. 988-777-400. Dami, could you help us with that?
You can call us on 08098877400. It's showing on your screen now, so just punch it and let's know what you think about the decision of our president. Is our president.
Right then. We'll go over to the next story on ground. We've got Minister of Finance, Defense, the spending, of course. She had said that the money was meant for security infrastructure and capacity of Niger Republic. Our second story is retraction of federal government's fund. Why Afenifere? Something about Afenifere. Dami, could you help us with that story?
Yes, he said why Afenifere is supporting Peter Obi ahead of Tinubu. Why is Afenifere supporting Peter Obi? I think we've had Adebanjo on the show some months back, and he earnestly said that he thinks that it's only fair for us to have a zoning, because even when the constitution was made and the older generations in terms of persons of late Awolowo, and that they all decided that, you know what, it should be rotation. And the Southwest and the North had been having it. So why are you depriving the Southeast of this same thing that you claim? And because we know that probably there are some frictions between Afenifere and the supposed Tinubu camp, or the character of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. So they think it is only being seen as Nigerians that's not being biased or ethnically biased or religious vices, that we just zone it appropriately. And for me, I share in this sentiment, kind of, that if it's rotation, okay, my brother Igbo Hausa have done it, me Yoruba have done it, just make it and let's go around
to the east.
And I also think that, for me, when people say that you know what, when this party comes in, they are going to rule for 8 years. No, it's no longer that way. The power of incumbency has been cut short. We no longer follow that route and say, oh, when APC comes in, they are spending 8 years. No, they are going to spend 4 years allocated by the Constitution. If we decide that we want them to have another term, we'll give it to them. It's our vote. And because when people say your votes don't count, I imagine, why do politicians want to buy these votes if your vote doesn't count? So it's just for us to go back to the table. There's been a lot of social media noise. There's been a lot of attention on voting now. I think people are more woke because we're more hungrier. Maybe in the previous years, it's always like, well, they should go and vote. We'll let them do it. But now, it sat them around. The table is spinning. And you don't know whose table is coming to.
You know, I'm looking at a time that we're going to have true nationalists, because when we're talking about politicking in the country, the people should be the focus. What is good for the populace of Nigeria? I wish it's about tribe. Why can't we look beyond that sentiment and begin to look at capabilities of people? If they're truly able to do what we need them to do. And this time in Nigeria's polity, we are at the verge of a lot of disaster. That if we don't change something around, if we're following sentiment, if you vote sentiment this next election, I hope in another couple of years there will be Nigeria for all of us to rule. Because if we ruin the nation, at the end of the day, there will be nothing for us to say we're sitting on. So the fact that Afenifere is even talking and speaking this way, I'm very happy, because that's nationalism. We're looking at what will benefit us as a people. So if I'm talking about Dami's sentiment, that truly, if we're going to make it equal, and we're looking at it zoning wise, then let's look at history. What has happened? Let's take a percentage to this thing. If you know that this time around, which, if anybody should ask me, I would say that this next election should even be unopposed. If
Really?
all these leaders are really pro-Nigeria, and they are not just pro-party, or pro-my belly, or pro-my account, or pro-my people, they should sit down and say, what can we do for this nation not to collapse? Many months ago, or many years ago, I remember maybe on the show that we're talking and laughing and playing, where we saw a Chinese document being signed in Chinese.
Yeah.
We're laughing. We found it very funny. But do you know how many agreements that Nigeria has put their hands in? We are owing debt left, right, and center.
Those were
They're
documents
dragging our
that
neck,
you remember those documents were challenged before the floor of National
That's-
Assembly.
yes!
They now came a sudden consciousness that look, we don't even know the contents of
Of
these
Of
things.
these, and we are
You know.
pending our signature. I know comedians joke about it. That, oh, we just said the CFO of Nigeria. Right now, we need people that will make history. That will tell us that we are leadership that cares about the people, not stomach infrastructure. That's why Nigerians are tired. People are hungry. This 2023 election is a very, very decisive election because it's either going to make us or miles.
Well,
so, I don't know.
Finish.
Well, some people have said, social commentators have said, look, if we miss it, like you're saying right now, that we probably might not get it right for the next 100 years. And I sort of agree with them. On Afenifere supporting Peter Obi, you've both rightly said, look, it's not about culture, it's not about tribe. It's beyond that. It's about getting this nation back on the right track.
Yes.
It's about getting us to the people. It's about the people. 200 million people, over 200 million people, over 600 ethnic groups. In fact, it's not about rationing even. It's not about, would you say if someone is less qualified because he's my brother, I should just give it to him?
Exactly.
We've run on that route for so long, and it hasn't brought us anything.
You know, I
really.
joked about it at the last
On
time
Tuesday,
that
yes.
when you said Okowa said Peter Obi is not experienced. I said, what has experience given us? If this is what experience has given us
a
in the
disaster.
past couple of years, Obasanjo has ruled this country how many times?
Like 2 dispensations, military and
Exactly.
civilian.
Buhari has done the same.
Twice.
So
Military
if
and
experience has bought us this kind of chaos,
We don't need experience.
then we need inexperience.
We should-
Learn on the job.
We probably should get Kike elected as a president who is that experienced. Nigerians, what do you make of this? Call us. Okay, we have our first caller. Thomas is calling us from Kano State. Thomas, what's your thought? Remember, turn down the volume of your TV set. Thomas calling us from Kano State. Do we have Thomas? Okay, we lost Thomas' call. Call us. Numbers to call should be up on your screen. We'd like to know what you make of this. Our first story was on the 1.4 billion naira purchase of vehicles for Niger by the Nigerian government. And we just finished talking about Afenifere supporting Peter Obi. Some people don't seem to be comfortable about that. We have Munachi from Lagos. Munachi, what's your comment on the show today? Munachi, welcome to the show. Let's have your contribution.
All right. Good afternoon. You guys are looking good anyways. Straight to the point of the Niger-ish, I think there is something more that the federal government that is not telling us. I still don't believe that we would spend such money and then we complain that we are broke. So it means that Nigeria is not broke. Okay. Second issue, I think it has to do with the Afenifere thing that you guys are talking about. Well, we have seen cases whereby people who want to register for their PVCs just to vote for the next elections are not allowed to do so. There are cases whereby these thugs take over these centers, and we've seen severally on Instagram. So it's high time that we begin to get our priorities right. Why these political parties, these oppositions are trying to fight each other and all that? Because during yesterday's interview, I see former governor of Edo State mocking Obi, and I see Tinubu doing the same thing and all that. I think it is time for Nigerian youth to stand together and then see how.
Can you hear me? Munachi?
Yeah.
On the 1.4 billion, Nigeria has already spent that money. The vehicles have already been distributed. What do you think? What do you think Nigeria should do now? Should we ask for the money back? What do you think?
There is no need to ask for the money back because Nigerians will tell you clearly on TV that yes, they've done this. At least we've seen the justification they said. So I don't think there is any need to even ask for the money back. What we should concentrate on is sectors that should work, sectors that could transform the economy, because everything here is actually failing. So how do we now get to give this money out to other countries where we say that we are broke? It means we are not broke.
All right, thank you very much. Munachi, all heads are just nodding in the studio, from the camera guys to the editors to Moses, even who's behind the scene. Everybody's agreeing with you that yes, there's no justification for saying we are broke. We need to take another break. When we return, the ladies and myself will still be here. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Real Talk with Kike show is bringing you all the gist, all the sides, and all the facts. It's all around and about you. I'm still here with Dami and Lolo. And we just finished talking about the support for Peter Obi, Afenifere, and Munachi just got off the phone. Our next story is our next story, yes, is Ondo State Hospitals ration fuel while patient dies during surgery. Ondo State Hospital, there was news about somebody who died who was on the surgery table, a woman who was on the surgical table, and the lights kept going on and off until, you know, she passed. And the husband seemed to be making trouble. What do you make of this?
The hospital seemed to be making trouble.
The husband? The
husband, yes. I read that she was a breast cancer patient, and she was undergoing surgery after a series of chemos, and decided to take her under the knife. But I think another thing is Nigeria happens to everybody, but it depends on the dimension that it takes. Some people, it's quite unfortunate that Nigeria happens to them and they have to change address permanently. I mean, like, forgive my language to say they have to pass on, kick the bucket. But on this particular issue, I think that is also negligence, gross negligence from the side of the hospital. But now it's in two parts, because you can't really blame them. What if they couldn't even buy fuel? Because the scarcity of fuel now, and some stations, few stations are still not selling, and some states are lamenting badly. We're even buying 200 naira per liter here. We have a caller?
Yes. Hold your thoughts. Charles from Ibadan is from Jos, I beg your pardon, Plateau State. Charles, you're live. What's your contribution?
Yeah, this is Charles CTC calling from the Office of the Citizen in Jos, Plateau State.
You're welcome.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. It's not a surprise that Mr. President is buying those cars for Niger. You've noticed that the Niger government too rewarded some of our Nigerian top officials, politicians in Nigeria. The relationship between which seems to be like there are some families of Niger who are in Nigeria and some families of Nigeria who are. So to balance it. Probably those are the people who support.
We'll let your call go now, Charles. We're losing you in every other second. We'll let you go. Probably change your location and call us back. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Dami, I'll let you finish your line of thoughts before we go to...
Okay, so I think that the negligence on the part of the hospital is they would have prepared the patient that, you know what, we're short of fuel. And if we embark on this surgery, it might turn out this way. I mean, prepare their mind if they have to make a reference to another hospital. Because even the case of this lady who burnt her boyfriend 2 weeks ago about the fair lady, I learned that part of the things that made the guy lose his life was the time they had taken him to Oshogbo. Oshogbo rejected him. They had referred him to Lautech. Lautech rejected him. And they had to take him to Ibadan. I mean, the rope of the life that is hanging, God, it will cut from Oshogbo to Ibadan. So
it's really not funny.
It's really not funny. Really.
Lolo, before I let you have your thought, let me Let me take this quote from the husband. He says, I was sitting directly opposite the theater with my mother-in-law and a friend and did not see anyone take the oxygen into the theater. It was later that they came out to tell me that my wife did not make it. That was when I broke down in tears. This is him refuting the claim that they had placed the wife
on oxygen.
And he said, I was there all along. There was no rescue attempt.
That's you know, when it comes to these things, we must know that there's a ricochet effect for everything that we're doing. One, I'll blame the hospital too, because that's negligent. Even if you are going to perform surgery, not in the Nigeria of now that you're going to perform surgery with NEPA light.
Epileptic person.
You should have switched on to your generator.
Awfully.
All those things should have been, you know, proper. And let me shock you. They charge you for these things. I've got, there was someone that told me that in general hospitals, that you pay, then the doctors themselves will ask you to pay to them personally. So this country is unraveling at its seams. These doctors that we are going to blame for doing this and that, you do not even know if the doctor has been paid. Money, you know, all those things are things that we're fighting, and yet you want them to still be at their utmost. Even doctors now need to be mentally checked.
Absolutely. Because
everybody is grappling with one issue or the other. Maybe they had light for some time and they had that belief that, oh, maybe they had those funny things that NEPA will give you light for 2 days and they'll take it off for 1 day. So they were sure that during this surgery, there would be NEPA light.
And that's why they kept trying to check.
To make any other, you know, preparations for this particular surgery. And when it comes to Nigeria and medical negligence, you know, the case law is very light. It's now that people are beginning to open their eyes and sue hospitals because negligence is so hard to prove in Nigeria, especially when it comes to medical.
Well, some time ago, we had somebody, a stakeholder from the Medical Guild Association, or what's it called? Medical Association or Medical Guild. Doctors Guild, I beg your pardon. And I raised the question as to why there aren't prosecutions, so many prosecutions regarding negligence, because I know we're talking about infant and maternal mortality, some topic around that. And he says, oh, well, that, you know, we can make our research. This guild is one that prosecutes, you know, the most and all that. Dental guild or so, I don't remember. My memory doesn't serve me well. I very well agree with you, Lolo, that there has been one too many case of negligence when it comes to medical. And I do not know why we don't have so many of them being prosecuted.
Evidence. The law of evidence is what we follow. Is it hospitals that don't even have proper records? Because if you're going to take any matter to court, you are going to have to present evidence.
You do an autopsy.
If there are not proper documentation, autopsy.
Autopsy is another thing in Nigeria. Most times I've noticed that if somebody passes and that's the end, even the family members are not very inquisitive to know how this person died or what exactly killed this person.
You just lost someone and you pay for heavy bills
so hold on, ladies. Hold on, ladies. What are you guys saying that this guy should do right now?
All I know is that whether we like it or not, look at what this Peju's husband is doing. It's hard to prosecute, but we must.
Resources?
Resources can be a problem. Somebody that is, what state did this happen?
Ondo State.
Ondo State. It probably, we don't even know how, you know, somebody battling breast cancer. One, the mental toll, the amount of money they must have spent. So anyone that can support this family to be able to get, you know, justice. These are the things, these are the causes that people should begin to put their weight on. So that even hospitals will know that if I do not do my due diligence, I can go down for this.
So, Lolo, you're saying he shouldn't give up. He should get a lawyer.
He should get a lawyer if he believes that there's negligence somewhere. There are associations. We have Medical Guild of Nigeria. We have different associations that, you know, that can actually withdraw a doctor's license. So they should follow it to the utmost.
All right. I hope more Nigerians will call in and contribute on this particular topic. Our next story is oddly killed as AIG Zone 12 is ambushed. Well, this happened in Bauchi State. Yeah. Where the convoy of the AIG Zone 12 was en route to his office or on the road, and bandits attacked, injuring him, several others, and killing his orderly. We hear that he's recuperating in a hospital, an undisclosed location. Talking about bandits and terrorists.
Like I said earlier, I think we've gone past the era of, it's happening to some set of people. Now it's affecting the rich, the poor, the middle, the high, the low, whoever. The table is really, really spinning.
Even the well-armed.
As in the armor tank, as in the bullion van, is affecting everybody.
Wow.
I mean, it's sometimes like my people will say bad talk with laughter. I mean, when you think of some bizarre things, you just laugh. Because it looks like, are we really on this earth and things are happening? If the presidential convoy can be attacked, now AIG is on tour, which I think that would have gone through so many trainings, intelligence and all of that, within and outside Nigeria, and it's just attacked like that. I mean, we know how one of our former, is the Air Force, Alex Bade, we know how he was killed.
Air Force Chief.
Air Force Chief. I mean, so when you begin to see these things, it's just for the people to wake up, especially our leaders. These things is pointing fingers at you people. See, the Nigerian that you did not fix will fix you. And it will fix you either the good way or the bad way. And now it's fixing a lot of people the bad way, and we're all lamenting. I think I would take an exception that when we were supposed to actually put our heads together.
We'll get to that point.
Talk. Okay.
Imo State, someone from Imo State. Airtel is calling us from Imo State. Let's have your contribution very quickly, Airtel.
Yes, good afternoon.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes. My point is related to the killing of the lady in the hospital due to the negligence of the doctors. I feel generally Nigeria happens to everyone else. You know, every one of us have felt this for the situation of our country. And it boils down to the fact that we lack the ability to prosecute something that ought to be prosecuted. You know, in 2020, the same thing happened like this. A particular guy came out and said his mother was negligent. And then it was swept under the carpet, you know, because it's not like a federal, hospital or something. I think generally we need to look deep down into the prosecution aspect of Nigeria, as well as following the Constitution, and then doing that which is right. Generally, I think the system has failed. It's not just the hospital or the bad roads or anything. The system has failed, and we need reconstruction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So when it affects everybody.
So just wrap it up. When we were supposed to put our heads and our voices together, we didn't do it. They used money to divide us. Stomach infrastructure. Everybody was flying haywire. Now it is more difficult to assemble those voices because a lot of people have eaten dodo. They cannot say the truth. That's the dodo one. So dodo, they are now being biased. But if they say you should continue like one day, everybody will open the door to death. It's a debt we all owe. So irrespective of whatever how it comes, if it's Nigeria that happens to us, good. If we are able to protect ourselves, all still good. But it will be good.
It's not about a death we all owe, and so we should all die in the hands and the say-so of bandits and criminals.
But now this is no longer funny, because we can talk about this on this table and leave it there. But do you know that these are security agencies that are being attacked personally? So if this is happening to those that we believe can secure us, don't you think this is already telling us that the ground is no longer soft? That means everybody needs to be thinking of either looking for how to secure yourself. And this is another recipe.
Talking about thinking of how to secure yourself, especially when the government hasn't presented any solution to
That's what I'm saying.
Let's hear what Maureen has to say from Cross River State, talking about securing ourselves. Maureen, welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome, Maureen. What's your contribution?
Okay, I want to mention the case of Afenifere supporting Peter Obi. Right? You know, we've gone past the time where we drink poison because it's served in our tribal glass. So I believe everyone who has Nigeria in mind should look at the candidate who has the readiness, the abilities, and the willpower to actually change in Nigeria. So if you know what's good for Nigeria, you know the candidate that have what it takes to change to turn around everything for good, then we should support that. Then in the case of Nigeria buying vehicles and spending as a contribution to Niger Republic, what a time to be in Nigeria. I don't know what to think, but I think that is not needed. We have a lot of problems already that should be taken care of. The charity begins at home. If you abandon your people who are being killed on a daily basis to try to stop an outsider who hasn't even the kind of problem you have, then it means you are being progressively wicked to the people you govern. So that's my take on that. Nigeria should look at Nigeria first and see what can be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The infant mattered, or rather, I'd say the death, how do you call it now? The mortality rate in Nigeria generally, or the global mortality rate, and the life expectancy has been very low for Nigeria. I hear that our life expectancy is placed at 54. That of Canada and other countries of the world, 83 and 81. 54 are here.
I read 45.
Now, when you add bandits and bandits killing and Boko Haram and all of that, I'm wondering what our life expectancy will come to. Just before the show, you were talking about how you can no longer travel by road and how even traveling by air
it's more
now
expensive
is
to travel by
expensive.
road. If you travel by air, you pay 150,000 naira. But if you travel by road and you have to pay 5 million for ransom and kidnapping,
it's more costlier.
Which one is costlier?
Well, let's go to the last story. Lagos Police Command invites officer for questioning after he was caught on camera demanding someone's phone. He actually wasn't demanding, he was caught on camera going through the person's phone. Let's take a look at this video and see what we make of this.
So as we were going for a job, and this policeman stopped me, collected my phone and was searching, whereby Inspector General of Police have said, why? Why will you break it? What did I do to you? What did I do to you? What did I do to you? The Inspector General of Police have said you should not search our phones. Why are you searching my phone? Why are you searching my phone? The Inspector General of Police have said they should not search phones. Why are you searching my phone? Why are you searching my phone, sir? Why are you searching my phone? I'm not asking you. Why are you searching my phone? What did I do to you? What did I do to you? He started searching my phone without anything. We were going for a shoot. He stopped us.
And he was trying to defend himself there to say, look, you have no right to search my phone.
One thing I'm so happy is that Nigerians are waking up to their rights.
Absolutely.
People are now more knowledgeable. Imagine, we just saw a video of the AIG Zone 12 saying that you have no right to do this. Imagine if this young man had not even heard that. Now, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You need to know what the law says for yourself, so that anytime you're faced with a challenge, at least you have a little knowledge of what is happening, so that nobody can just bamboozle.
Jesse, you're calling us from Edo State. Are you aware that the IG has said a policeman shouldn't search your phone? Jesse?
I said this issue of 1.4 billion naira with the president.
All right, go ahead. Let's have your thoughts. Go ahead, let's have your thoughts.
Okay, I said the issue of 1.4 billion naira they give the securing vehicle for Czech Republic is uncalled for. So I think it's that time Nigeria should question this leadership, what they'll be doing with our money.
I asked a question when you took your call. When we took your call, are you aware that the IGP has said a policeman shouldn't search your phone?
Yes.
That so Lolo, you're right. Nigerians are becoming more aware.
The more aware you are,
then I think even with the state's PPRO being on Twitter, being very active on Twitter, and that was why the summon came up. I think SP Hyundai. I think for me it's the fact that the police are now even more woke, and they are trying to filter their surroundings, take the wit away from the shaft. Because policemen like this, I mean, what is that level of arrogance? You know that you're questioning, you're answerable to somebody. And this person is telling you that your
something from the stable of your boss.
Yes. So I mean, that's like you don't care.
The education of our police people,
their reform,
the reform is so needed at this time.
Badly needed.
Because if you're giving people that have no knowledge of what they're even guarding, guns and ammunition, They don't need to just carry guns. They need to know the law.
I also think that, I'm sorry much, I also think that most times they have this orientation. But you know this Nigerian factor of who will arrest me, who will catch. This is not the first man. This is not the first police officer being brought to book. The other one around one express road.
Kantiok has been on the line from Kaduna State, and I've been holding him. I've been looking for a space to bring him in. Kantiok, it's good to have you on the show today. You're calling us from Kaduna State. How is Kaduna State?
Well, Kaduna State, we are sitting one leg down and one leg up as usual, and it has been all this while.
It is, what's your contribution on the show today?
Yes, IG being attacked. As much as we are condemning it, but we're also letting the populace or the bourgeoisie or the leaders also know that if they refuse to do or to carry out their constitutional responsibility,
okay.
Oh, we lost that one. Okay.
Line is so bad.
Erratic.
Oh, Kantiok, I want to believe it's because you're calling us from far away Kaduna State. I just hope that the bandits haven't gotten wind of your...
Okay, so to just wrap it up, I think that when I was growing up, or in this climb that I am now, I'm sentimental about the fact that when we were growing up, we were handed over pocket-sized Bibles, the small blue New Testament. I mean, that should have been a constitution. It would have helped all of us to know our basic rights from the inception.
The pocket-sized Bible?
Yes, that pocket-sized Bible, the blue one.
Our constitution?
It should have been a constitution, sir, not religion. That's where we have gotten ourselves.
She's saying that instead of the Bible, we should have had
a constitution like that, so that every child from primary 1, nursery should know their right, your freedom, what you're supposed to exercise. It wouldn't get us to the point where we are now telling the police officers what we already know. And civic responsibility, education.
Civic education was one of those things that was supposed to teach us. But what do you say when our students are not even in school? Or when our teachers are not even re-educated? What are we saying?
Well, talking about distribution of Bibles, I don't think that came from government. I think it was,
no, it didn't. It was some mission, homes, and all of that.
Non-governmental organization.
I wish somebody can just replicate it and make it into pocket-sized constitution for our children to know their rights, basic rights.
Well, damn it, we thank God for someone like you. We're looking. That's why we're praying every day for.
Yeah, if I get the resources, I will push it.
I was going to say that, I'm a member of the police community, and I tell you something. We should learn to give honor.
Credit. Yeah.
And credit, yes, that's the right word. Credit when it is deserved. I like the fact that the Nigerian police did not only call up this guy to question, and trust me, he will face an oddly room trial.
Yeah.
They did not only do that, but went online to try to quell the tension, to notify the public to say, look, this is the step we're taking. It's highly commendable.
Absolutely.
And I want us to give it to the Nigerian police.
No, I'm totally happy the fact that they've even called him
from even dismissing the previous officer.
So I can tell you exactly. I can tell you a lot of reform is going on with the Nigerian police. I can tell you, take it from someone who is within the system. Okay, I think we've exhausted our topics and our time, and quite a number of callers have called to contribute on the show. Lola, I'll let you shoot 30 seconds final word.
All right. Honestly, this is a time that we need ourselves as a nation. This is the best time to be your brother's keeper, because everyone you're looking at is hurting one way or the other.
Dami.
Well, I think I'll say one of the basic things I always say is 1, optimism, 2, unity, which is very important, because love supersedes everything. If you love your neighbor, it will be very difficult for you to want to hurt that person. And the spirit of Dora Koyuli that said one nation, a great Nigeria, a great nation. We should try and relish on this fact that we didn't used to be this divided, and go back to the drawing table and be patriotic citizens of the country.
Well, my yellow day by Lolo at home. I have Lolo in the studio here. My Jasmine, my rare Specie, my rare Rose, my wife, would usually tell me that Lagos will not turn me to a Lagosian. Dami here would say Nigeria happens to every one of us. If you know what gets you on the positive side, if you know what gets you on your positive mood, that keeps you going, that keeps your head above water level, keep doing it. As long as it hurts no one, it doesn't hurt the other person, okay? Just keep doing it. And always remember, if you must drink, don't drive. If you must drive, don't
drink.
drink. My name is Marshall Anthony Onoye, and I've managed to saddle the affairs of this particular episode with these two powerful women on the set. It's the RTWK show, Real Talk with Kike show. And from me, it is bye-bye. And from you?
It is bye for now.
And bye to everyone.
Bye.